If you enjoy the content on this channel, please like and subscribe. The Bikeriders is a 2023 American period crime drama film written and directed by Jeff Nichols and stars Jodie Comer, Austin Butler, Tom Hardy, Michael Shannon, Boyd Holbrook and Norman Reedus. Its plot, inspired by the photo book of the same name by Danny Lyon, depicts the lives of the Vandals Motorcycle Club, a fictional version of the Outlaws Motorcycle Club. The Bikeriders premiered at the 50th Telluride Film Festival on August 31st, 2023 and was released in the United States on June 21st, 2024. Originally scheduled to be released theatrically in the United States on December 1st, 2023 by 20th Century Studios, the release was delayed due to the 2023 SAG-AFTRA strike. Ultimately, Focus Features acquired the film rights from producer New Regency. The film received positive reception and grossed over $34 million worldwide, against the $30 million budget. The film is named after Danny Lyon's photo book of the same name, which filmmaker Jeff Nichols read for the first time in 2003. The story's Vandals MC are inspired by the book's detailing of the Outlaws Motorcycle Club. Lyon is portrayed in the film by Mike Faist. Since 2004, Nichols has mentioned the project to Michael Shannon, who starred in all of his films. Whilst on the set of the short film Long Way Back in 2018, Nichols and Shannon discussed the project. Shannon quipped that he had been talking about that damn idea for so long. By 2022, Nichols wrote the screenplay from his original story idea. New Regency agreed to produce the film in May 2022. The project was officially announced with Nichols attached as a director in August of 2022, with Jodie Comer, Austin Butler and Tom Hardy on board to star. Nichols cast Comer after sitting on 2 awards panels that honoured her performance on the one-person Broadway show Prima Facie and hearing good things about her from Adam Driver, who co-starred with her in The Last Duel, released in 2021. He then would meet with Hardy for the first time at his London residence, admitting to leaving the meeting kind of punch-drunk before seeing a performance of Comer in Prima Facie at the Harold Pinter Theatre in the West End. The rest of the ensemble cast came on board soon after. Principal photography began in Cincinnati, Ohio in October of 2022 and concluded in December of that year. Some interesting trivia notes. Tom Hardy always takes props home with him after each movie. In this film, he took back the motorbike. As mentioned earlier, the name of the book in 1967 by Danny Lyon was called The Bikeriders, and this was intended as the working title during production. However, nobody could think of any better name for the film, so the title was kept. The biker gang that inspired the film still exists as of 2024 and is a rival to the Hells Angels. Jeff Nichols left A Quiet Place Day 1 to make this movie instead. In October 2018, Jeff Nichols revealed that he'd been thinking about making a biker film set in the 1960s for 5 years, although he did not at that stage have a script, and mentioned the idea to friend and close collaborator Michael Shannon, who reportedly told him, "You've been talking about that damn idea for so long, you're just never going to make that film, are you?" This is the 6th collaboration between Michael Shannon and Jeff Nichols. Filming wrapped in December of 2022, and the first trailers and teaser posters appeared in early 2023. The film was sat on the shelf though for over a year whilst distribution was sorted out. Originally, the film was set to be released by 20th Century Pictures, but Disney, who now owns the studio, didn't want to release it for whatever reason. The film was sold on to various distributors in various territories, but they all wanted to avoid the crowded summer 2023 schedule, so the mass release was delayed by almost a year. Eventually, Focus Features ended up acquiring the film, with Universal Pictures handling the film's international release. New Regency chose Focus Features because Focus Features could make a profit on The Northman, released in 2022, despite that film also being a box office bomb. Austin Butler was nearly injured in a motorcycle accident while filming. While trying out one of the bikes, he was told to drive to the end of the street corner. As he did so, the bike's tire slid on a clump of wet leaves, with Butler later describing it like driving on ice and fishtailed, causing him to lose control of it. Luckily, he was able to jump off the motorcycle, landing on his feet as the bike continued, swerving before crashing. Several actors, except Shannon and a few others, learned how to ride a motorcycle for the film. The prosthetic tattoos that Austin Butler wore for his character appeared so realistic that an interviewer thought they were real and asked how and when he had the time to get so many tattoos on his arms. Austin Butler was considered for the role of Art Donaldson in Challengers, the role that eventually went to his co-star in this film, Mike Faist, instead. The band Lucero released a song called Bikeriders on their 2005 album Nobody's Darlings that is about Kathy and Benny. Lucero's frontman, Ben Nichols, is the older brother of director of this film, Jeff. The motorcycle club that is documented in the book that the producers based the film on is one of the Big Four clubs, which includes the Hells Angels, which started in California and operates on 6 continents, along with smaller, less famous clubs, namely the Banditos, which grew up around Texas, and the Mongols, which are also centered around California. What started out though as riding clubs are now branded as major criminal threats in many countries where they operate. The FBI maintains a list of outlaw motorcycle gangs, and these 4 are the largest among them. Michael Shannon and Austin Butler have both played Elvis Presley. Shannon in the movie Elvis and Nixon, released in 2016, and Austin Butler in Elvis, released in 2022. Austin Butler and Damon Herriman previously starred in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, with Herriman playing Charles Manson and Austin Butler playing Tex Watson. Herriman would also reprise his role of Charles Manson in the show Mindhunter, with Happy Anderson, who also has a small part in this film, playing the serial killer Jerry Brudos. In television advertisements for the film, they removed the cigarette of Tom Hardy's character in the smoking scene where he tells his fellow biker to burn down the bar. Now, I found this to be an absolutely magnificent film that delves into the violent world of motorcycle gang culture. This is a movie that is absolutely riveting, and the acting is wonderful, with each one of the main actors turning out a standout performance. It's a fascinating portrayal here from Austin Butler, who really brings a lot of depth and nuance to his character of Benny. Butler really acts with his eyes in this one, and has little to no dialogue, but he has so much charisma, and he really brings his character to life here with his panache and charm. He almost invokes a sort of James Dean style with his performance, as he captures the complexity of a young man thrown into the motorcycle gang lifestyle. He wants to belong, he wants a family, he wants more from life, but he doesn't know quite how to get it. Tom Hardy is arguably one of the best actors going around today, and he always seems to manage to reinvent himself for every role that he takes. Once again, he is almost unrecognizable as the ruthless leader of the pack, namely Johnny. Johnny isn't necessarily a bad man, but he wants respect, and he feels that there's only one way to go about it, and that is to rule with an iron fist. It's a fascinating, nuanced and layered portrayal here by Hardy as he brings Johnny to life with absolute brilliance. And what more can I say here about the phenomenal Jodie Comer? She's also one of those actresses that reinvents herself for every single role, and she's absolutely breathtaking here as Kathy, Benny's wife. You see the film through her eyes, and she almost acts as a sort of narrator. Jodie, who sort of puts on a Minnesota nice accent, brings to life the complexities of being part of a gang, and making you realize that this is more than just a gang, it's a family. These men will literally die for each other, kill for each other, almost in cult-like fashion. I found the subject matter to be absolutely fascinating. For these people, it becomes a way of life. What the film does perfectly is it sheds light on the harsh realities of the motorcycle gang culture. The violence is intense, but not gratuitous, and it serves to underscore the stark consequences of this chosen lifestyle. Overall, this is a truly gripping and thought-provoking film that will stay with you long after the credits roll. The story and direction here from Jeff Nichols are absolutely on point, and you can see this project really meant a lot to him as he really brings it to life with a lot of passion. Long before the Hells Angels became the notorious criminal gang that we know today, this film tells you the story of the beginnings of these biker gangs. It tells the story of a few men who were misfits within society, and they wanted to belong, and they found a common sense of love and passion for riding motorcycles. Unfortunately, this evolved and changed with time due to the societal pressures and bad choices made by these men. Eventually, of course, they would push each other to extremes, leading to unwarranted violence, criminal pursuits, and unforgivable choices. The film portrays this perfectly, showing you the larger-than-life male egos at work, as well as the sort of peer-like pressure invoked upon these men. From its absolutely breathtaking acting performances from the three leads, fascinating story, and beautifully filmed and directed here by Jeff Nichols, The Bikeriders is a film that I'd highly recommend to anyone looking for an insightful, historic piece of filmmaking. The Bikeriders gets a 9 out of 10.